Good evening. My name is Miss Hunt, and today we will have a language arts lesson, fifth grade language arts. Our objective for today will be to write a variety of sentences with 100% proficiency and use these sentences to write complete paragraphs and exploring paragraphs, sentences of a paragraph. Students will be able to do these things, as I say, the objectives for the lesson. The essential question is, why is it important to know the main idea of a paragraph or work of writing? As our focus and review or our activator, students will be given a paragraph on the board from Charlotte's Web. The class will read the paragraph aloud, and I, the teacher, will ask, what is the paragraph about? Are there any sentences that show what the paragraph is about? And our focus today will be talking about that these are main ideas, and that main ideas form paragraphs. So this will help students, be able to think about what are the things in the excerpt from Charlotte's Web that are talking about a main idea or a specific thing. For the teacher input part of the lesson, we will talk about three things: identifying the main idea, identifying the topic sentence, and identifying supportive details. After I introduce the students to our objective and essential question and vocabulary, if any, for the day, students will then look at props or pictures of items such as school supplies, a notebook, a pencil, a textbook, and students will then be asked what the props and pictures are about. And then this is the big idea, or what the things have in common. So looking at something like a notebook, a pencil, and a textbook, students one of their options would be that they're all school supplies, or they're all used in a classroom, or even that they're all used in an office. The teacher, I will then have prepared 3 to 4 lunch bags with pictures and props placed for the students in their cooperative learning groups. And students will take the time to discuss what is in each bag. So one of the bags may have different fruits, and something they'll have in common is the idea of the bag, or the main thing of the bag is that they're all fruits. Another bag may have a pen, a pencil, a marker, and these are all writing utensils. So students will begin to understand the main idea of what's in each bag, and that will help them in working to understand how to develop main ideas in paragraphs. Our next thing that we will identify are topic sentences. Students will be given a copy of a paragraph, and each student will pull out a green marker, which they're required to have. Students will read the paragraph with a partner, and I will explain that all paragraphs have a topic sentence, which tells the reader what the paragraph is about. Students will be asked to identify the topic sentence and to underline it with a green marker, and then they will split into groups of 3. And I will prepare 3 paragraphs on a separate chart poster paper, and the topic sentence will be left out in its place, and we'll draw a line. And then sentence strips will be placed with the topic sentences for students to choose from. So basically, in this activity, a paragraph will be placed on the board, and the topic sentence of that paragraph will be left out, and students will be given green strips. Just as they highlighted the topic sentence of the paragraph with green, they'll be given green strips with different topic sentences, and they will have to go and Velcro or stick the topic sentence in where it fits, or where they believe it fits with the paragraphs presented. And then the class, we will have a review. So our next part, and this is still in teacher input, as well as still activating students' knowledge to relate topic sentences and paragraphs to, other things to start developing, help them with developing paragraphs. And our third thing is identifying supportive details. The class will review the activity on identifying main ideas, as well as topic sentences, and using the previous paragraphs, where they underline the sentence with the green marker. Students will then underline a sentence that has a detail about the main idea with a yellow marker. And to extend this lesson, students will read a paragraph that contains a sentence that does not belong. For example, this one is entitled "A New Pet." I would like to have a new pet. I have a cat and a dog. Goldfish and birds would be good pets. Birthdays are fun. Maybe I will get a hamster or a rabbit. So in this example, the sentence that does not fit with is birthdays are fun. The main idea, and we'll discuss as a class, is that about someone getting a new pet. And so birthdays do not relate to students getting a new pet. So in learning parts of a paragraph, which is what students are doing, students can think of learning parts of a paragraph as a traffic signal system. And with this traffic system, you have the go, the continue, and the stop. Go is basically the topic sentence. The sentence that tells what the paragraph is about. Continue is the supporting sentences. Their sentences and details of the topic sentences. And stop will be the ending sentence. This sentence closes the paragraph and it tells the reader that the paragraph is finished. For our guided and our independent practice are basically combined, and students will need a green, yellow, and red construction paper strips, and a large traffic light like the one above, which will be provided by me, and a traffic light worksheet, which will also be provided by the teacher. For step 1, each student will be given 1 green strip, 3 yellow strips, and 1 red strip. The class will brainstorm topics and write on the chart. In step 2, the class will choose a topic and the teacher will explain that the students are going to write a paragraph using the traffic light system. The teacher will point to the chart and discuss that there are 3 parts of the paragraph. Alright, the beginning, middle, and end. So these are the things that we, in our activators and things at the beginning, we're getting students to focus on. This is the actual part where students are piecing the things that we did with the bags and the underlining with these activities. Students will then take out a green strip and they'll do the same. And they will come up with a topic sentence based on the topic they have chosen. So, for example, students may put on their green strip, the topic sentence can be, school is very important. And then everyone will write the topic sentence on a green strip. And the teacher will explain that green means go and we have begun our paragraph. So next, the students will take out their 3 yellow strips and the teacher will explain that students need 3 supporting details to go along with their topic sentence, which in this case is school is very important. And so the next one, the 3 possible sentences could be, you learn how to read books, teachers teach how to add and subtract, and you learn how to write and use computers. And to get students into thinking about how to construct these sentences, we can say, okay, well, school is very important. One of the questions I may ask is, why is school important? Another is, what are things that we do in school that make school important, and how do they help us? Next, I will explain to students that they now have to close and finish a sentence. This is the stop part of the traffic light system to writing. And ending a sentence, they can do several things. They can repeat the topic sentence in a different way. They can express how we feel about the topic sentence, or they can express what we think about the topic sentence. So then we will explore that. So what does it mean to repeat the topic sentence in a different way? our topic sentence once again is um, school is very important. So the ending sentence could be, it is important to go to school. So they would have their topic sentence of school is very important. There are three supporting sentences. You learn how to read books. Teachers teach you how to add and subtract, second supporting detail. And then you learn how to write and use computers, third supporting detail. And then they can end with, it is important to go to school. Our next example for how to end an ending sentence or how to use an ending sentence would be to express how we feel. So with that example, students can end by saying, I love going to school. And the third, express what we think about school, would be, I think school is important for kids. So students will then place their strips one after another. So they'll have their topic sentence, their three supporting sentences with their yellow strips, and then their red strip for their ending sentence. And as a teacher, I'll move around to make sure that their paragraphs are in order, and that students have then we'll have the opportunity for students to share their paragraphs and the way they combine their sentences and use what types of endings and things that they use. Students will then be given a sheet of construction paper, and they'll glue their strips onto the construction paper to make it look like a paragraph, and they'll be able to indent. We'll talk about, paragraphs we indent, and they'll be able to lay the strips along the construction paper to make their paragraphs. So for closure, as a formal assessment, I walk around the classroom and observe how the students create their sentences from their paragraphs. And as a part of my formal assessment, upon the end of the lesson, students will complete an exit ticket. They will answer the following questions. Why is it? And in looking at the higher level orders of thinking, or the orders of levels of thinking, an evaluation question would be, why is it important that we are able to write a paragraph? And a remember question would be, write down 3 things that you learned during today's lesson, just to see what students can recall that they learned. And then to give students the opportunity to analyze, I would ask them, do we see paragraphs in everyday settings? And what are some examples of ways in which we see paragraphs? And then, so after collecting the students' exit tickets or exit forms, we would then conclude the lesson by reviewing the parts of a paragraph doing a call and response strategy. And this will depend on time, but just for students to once again to look at the traffic light system, and just to once again revisit them and learning our main idea or our topic of the day, our lesson of the day, and learning how to write paragraphs. Adaptations and modifications for my students. For my ESL learners, we will maybe have a simplified story on tape for when we're reading certain stories, or I may do some audio things and have them follow along so they can hear the words and pronunciation as well as see them on paper. And students will, my hearing impaired students will also be given the text in my hearing impaired students will, for all of my different adaptations, larger font will be provided. Students will be given pictures to go along with the text so they can recognize words to pictures, and things like that. As an infusion of technology, students will be able to type their paragraphs, and they will be displayed on the display board outside of the classroom. One thing I found in just previous classrooms is elementary, they are learning typing skills. They haven't quite been to the typing, class, which is what you get in middle school. And so this is a great way to give them some exposure to computers and how to use the functions and computer systems. Infuse cultural diversity. We will definitely use a number of examples in books, and what we will do is we will talk about or use some of those examples, but in allowing students to write their own paragraphs, one of our topics may be to a place you want to visit, outside of the United States, and or just something about our students, my students in the classroom. And in doing that, we will then allow students to compare and contrast their paragraphs. So yes, they'll be writing their paragraphs. We'll take it one step further and compare and contrast the things they talk about when it comes to culture. Infusion and working with families. Students will work on their writing at home. Parents and guardians will be asked to sign their homework logs and edit their writing. Parents will also be invited to monthly parent night meetings to discuss the new things students are covering in class, and an activity that parents and students, I would like for them to do is for parents to help students with identifying main ideas, topic sentences, and supportive details and ending sentences by using the literature sources that they have at home. So around the home, books, magazines, newspapers, sometimes even in like recipe books, their paragraphs, and use those, and they'll use the stoplight information to identify these three parts of a paragraph. So this is an overview of my lesson. I definitely look forward to teaching it one day soon. Thank you for your time. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.